You think she's into you, but you're not sure. She texts back. She laughs at your jokes. She even compliments your mindset. But here's the truth most men miss. Attraction is easy to fake. Emotional attachment? That's a whole different game. And once you learn to read the signs, you'll never second guess her again. This isn't about guessing games. It's about understanding what her subconscious is already revealing. See, emotional attachment isn't loud. It's quiet, subtle. It shows up in the way she starts mirroring your habits without realizing it. You mention a book once. Suddenly she's reading it. You start waking up earlier. Now she's texting you at 6 a.m. This isn't coincidence. It's resonance. Her nervous system is syncing with yours. Not because she's trying to impress you, but because your presence is starting to shape her world. Another sign? She remembers the details most people forget. You told her about your childhood dog once in passing. She brings it up weeks later. You mentioned a tough meeting. She texts right after to check in. That's not casual interest. That's emotional investment. Because when a woman is attached, your pain lingers in her mind longer than her own. She feels what you feel, even when you're silent. And if you're starting to recognize these signs, hit subscribe and tap the bell. Because what's coming next will change how you see women forever. She doesn't just ask how your day was. She asks how you're really feeling. She notices the change in your tone, the way you say, "I'm fine," when you're clearly not. And she leans in, not with solutions, but with presence. That's emotional attunement. A woman who's emotionally attached doesn't just want the surface version of you. She wants the truth, the realness, even the mess. Because connection isn't about comfort, it's about being fully seen. She remembers the small things you say, your favorite song, how you take your coffee, the story you once told her about your childhood. And it shows up later, when she surprises you with tickets to that band you mentioned once in passing, or brings you coffee just the way you like it. That kind of memory isn't casual, it's investment. It's her way of saying, "I see you, I hear you, I care." Emotional attachment always reveals itself in attention to detail. Another undeniable sign is how she starts to mirror your mood. If you're stressed, she becomes anxious. If you're excited, she lights up too. It's not manipulation, it's empathy at its deepest level. When a woman is emotionally attached, your emotional state becomes contagious to her. She can't help but feel what you feel because she's connected to your energy, not just your presence. Her world syncs with yours, even if she doesn't always realize it. This emotional synchronization is powerful, but it also comes with vulnerability. You might notice she starts to worry more when you pull away, even slightly. A late reply, a subtle shift in your tone, or even a missed call can stir unease in her. Not because she's needy, but because her emotional compass is tied to your consistency. When she's attached, uncertainty doesn't just feel inconvenient. It feels like a threat to something deeply important. Her reactions become more emotional, not because she's unstable, but because she's invested. Another subtle yet telling sign is her memory. She remembers the smallest things you say, offhand comments, preferences, jokes you've made, even stories you might have forgotten. To her, these aren't just words. They're windows into who you are. Emotionally attached women pay attention differently. They're not just listening, they're storing pieces of you. That time you mentioned your favorite childhood movie, she'll surprise you with a reference to it weeks later. These moments are her way of showing you, "I see you, and I care enough to remember." And it doesn't stop there. Her emotional attachment shows in how she supports your ambition, not just with encouragement, but with presence. If you're working late, she respects your grind. If you share a dream, she gets excited with you, not for the outcome, but for the journey you're on. When a woman is emotionally attached, your goals start to matter to her like they're her own. She asks about your progress, remembers deadlines, checks in not to control, but to uplift. It's not just love, it's emotional investment. She becomes part of your progress without ever trying to overshadow it. And here's what's crucial. She celebrates your wins like they're shared victories. A woman who's emotionally attached feels pride in your growth because she sees herself walking alongside you, not behind. When you succeed, she lights up. Not because she benefits, but because she believes in who you're becoming. That's the kind of quiet loyalty you can't fake. It's not about proving anything. It's about presence without pressure. She mirrors your energy without trying to control it. If you're silent, she respects that space. If you're focused, she doesn't interrupt it. She honors it. This isn't about her becoming invisible. It's about emotional rhythm. She's tuned into your wavelength, not to manipulate, but to connect. That kind of reflection shows she's deeply aware of your state of mind, not just her own needs. It's subtle, but it means she's emotionally invested. She's not just reacting, she's responding with intention. She remembers the details that others overlook, not just your favorite band or the way you take your coffee. She recalls the things you only mentioned once, like a dream you had at 15, or the story about the scar on your hand. That attention to the overlooked is a psychological cue. It's not just interest, it's investment. When a woman stores the fragments of your life like they're chapters in her own book, it's because she's already emotionally involved. She's not just listening, she's building meaning. She defends you when you're not around. Maybe someone questions your choices, mocks your interests, or doubts your ambition, and she steps in without hesitation. You might not hear about it directly, but it trickles back through mutual friends or a sudden shift in how people talk around you. This is loyalty at a psychological level. Emotional attachment makes her protective, not in a possessive way, but in a way that signals your value in her world. When a woman guards your name like it's her own, she's already connected. She mirrors your energy and adopts your language. Pay attention. Her phrasing begins to echo yours. Her routines slowly align with your habits. Maybe she starts drinking her coffee the way you do, or uses expressions only you say. This isn't coincidence. It's a subconscious bond forming. When someone begins to reflect your essence back to you, it's because they're emotionally invested. Her identity subtly merges with yours, not to lose herself, but because she wants to be closer to what grounds and excites her. Another undeniable sign is when she remembers the little things you say, the random facts you mentioned once, the goals you quietly admitted late at night, even your pet peeves. She brings them up in ways that show she's listening deeply, not just hearing words, but storing meaning. When a woman is emotionally attached, your words don't just pass through her, they live in her memory. She pays attention to your subtleties because your presence isn't just something she enjoys, it's something she values. You'll also notice she starts to mirror your moods. If you're having a rough day, she feels it, even if you haven't said a word. She checks in more, softens her tone, becomes more emotionally attuned. That kind of emotional synchronization isn't random. It's the result of her heart aligning with yours. She's not just reacting to you, she's feeling with you. That's the quiet power of emotional attachment. Her empathy grows deeper, her awareness sharper, and she becomes intuitively responsive to your energy without needing an explanation. And then comes the shift in her priorities. You start to notice she's making time for you in ways she didn't before, not just squeezing you into her schedule, but rearranging her life, even sacrificing her comfort to show up for you. She might cancel plans, stay up late to talk, or travel just to spend time with you. These aren't grand gestures for attention. They're quiet, consistent choices. And those choices scream one thing: you matter deeply. Because when a woman is emotionally attached, you're not just someone she likes, you're someone she's slowly building her world around. Another sign, just as subtle but powerful, is how she starts adopting your language and mirroring your energy. It's unconscious at first. Maybe she picks up your phrases, starts using your slang, laughs at your timing. But what she's really doing is syncing with you. Psychologically, it's called mirroring. and it's a deep signal of emotional alignment. She wants to feel closer to you, so her subconscious starts pulling her into rhythm with your tone, your tempo, your mindset. That's not just attraction. It's a psychological bond being formed in real time. Watch how she handles your silence. Most women who are casually interested will retreat when you're not constantly feeding the conversation. But a woman who's emotionally attached leans into the silence. She fills it. She texts just to check in, sends you memes that made her think of you, or shares music that reflects what she can't put into words. That's her way of staying emotionally tethered. Silence doesn't scare her. It motivates her. Because deep down, she's not just talking to you. She's holding on to the connection. And finally, notice the way she mirrors your emotional states. This is the most subconscious and telling sign of emotional attachment. When you're stressed, she tenses up. When you're joyful, she lights up too. It's not mimicry, it's emotional investment. Her feelings are now partially tied to yours. That means you've moved past surface-level attraction and into something deeper, something visceral. Because when a woman begins to reflect your inner world, not out of obligation but instinct, it means her heart is already involved, whether she says it or not.